Welcome, welcome. Welcome to today's webinar, Unlocking Free Leads, Marketing Secrets for Field Service Pros. I'm Edward Medor, Strategic Partnerships Channel Manager with WorkEase. And today I'm really excited because we've put together a pretty star-studded cast that I'm proud to have with me. To help unlock the secrets to gathering free leads for field service business. So I wanted to take a minute to introduce everybody. First up, we have Dave Carroll from Dope Marketing. Dave, in my opinion, is basically a marketing visionary who specializes in being pretty innovative, results-driven strategies. He's got a world of expertise in targeted marketing campaigns and has helped countless businesses over the years to achieve exceptional growth. And then we have my good friend Mandeep Bala from Grow Nearby. Mandeep is an absolute digital marketing guru, hosts an amazing podcast called Born for the Trades. You should definitely check it out. I was actually a guest on his podcast not too long ago. Also, proven track record for just exploding your online presence, helping you drive organic traffic. He'll speak to the breadth of and depth of all of the different expertise that his company Grow Nearby brings to his customers. And then last but not least, for those of you that have joined me in the past, we've got my very best friend, Derek Hoffrichter from Service Business Evolution. And Derek, needs no introduction, really. He's kind of a jack of all trades, seasoned expert in the field service industry, podcast coach, speech writer, jujitsu trainer. I mean, there's not much that Derek doesn't do, but gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. And let's jump in and unlock the potential for getting some free leads. So I'm going to have Mandeep kick things off here, and we'll go ahead and share his presentation with you all. I'm sorry, Derek, you're going to start off for us. No, Derek, go ahead and you'll control the slides. We'll get Mandeep on stage. Mandeep.
All right. I think that's dope.
Oh, nope. Dope. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. It's cool. Dave Carroll, Dope Marketing. You are ready to go.
Ready to rock, guys. All right. So what I want to talk about, and I'm going to go pretty quick. For anyone that's seen me present or talk on a webinar live or whatever, I have some warnings. I talk a lot and I talk fast. What's great is these slides will be available to you after the presentation if you need them. So whether it's from Ed, Derek, or the team, if you guys need anything, they'll have the whole presentation. And so what I want to go over is, first off, for anyone that hasn't heard of Dope Marketing, outside of it being a cute name, it stands for data on previous engagement. And going down the concept of generating leads for your business, whether you're a brand new company or you've been around for 100 years or anywhere in between, we want to look at time being our most valuable resource. 1440 is the most important number you should ever think of in your life. It's how many minutes you have during the day. And outside of eating, sleeping, spending time with your family, there's a chunk of these minutes when we run our business that we can allocate towards generating leads and helping our customers. And so how do you want me to do this, Derek? Just give you like a point or a click, or how do we change it?
I got you. You actually control the slides yourself too, Dave.
Oh, can I?
You can. Yep. If you just mouse up over to the
Love
the right.
it. Perfect. All right. So where I want everyone to put their mind for a minute is think of that business. Usually it's an individual in your market. Here in the Twin Cities, if anyone's in Minnesota, it's this guy, Chris Lindahl, who's in the real estate space. But I want you to think, if you've gone to like Vegas or somewhere else, the person on the billboard, he's on the billboard, he's on the radio, he's on the TV. It could be a lawyer. It could be a real estate person. It could be an insurance person. I want you to put yourself in a spot for a second where you were that person. And what I define that individual, that business, is they are 5 mile famous, meaning everyone in their local area knows who this person is. They know what their business does. They know what problems they solve. Now, not all of us have a $20 million budget that we can buy up every form of marketing in our local area. So we're going to take this down to a train of thought of more granular. Now, our goal as business owners should be to be 5 mile famous, meaning that everyone in our local area knows what we do, knows the problems we solve, knows how we can help them. Now, most companies fail to do this for a couple reasons. They're stopping short of the required amount of marketing touches. Think of a world like today. I'm sure everyone on here, 2 o'clock Central, we've probably been on Facebook or Instagram once today. So I would question, do you remember the last ad that you saw today on Facebook or Instagram? The answer is usually no, because that messaging can get diluted. The required amount of touches on specific channels might not build the trust that you're looking for. We'll get to that in a minute. Businesses also forget that marketing touches work together. You can't have your uniform be a black shirt and your truck wrap is a purple unicorn and your Facebook ad is a pink flamingo. The touches won't stack up. Marketing touches have to align. And if you guys have heard of omni-channel, cross-channel, multi-touch marketing, it all means the same thing. Third point. Business owners are not considering the influence of each touch. The idea of when something comes up first when you search it online, the companies that you see that you have good branding around your market, how captivating a short form video, a postcard, a yard sign is. All of those touches influence customers in a different way. And what I like to remind us is that when we got our EIN for our business, sadly, the E doesn't always stand for employer. A lot of times it stands for ego. And as business owners, we have to put that away. Just because Mandeep likes to read the book, Edward likes to listen to the audio, Derek likes to watch the video, we took on a responsibility when we got our EIN that we have to be selfish for our customers. Just because we don't click on Facebook ads or we don't scan QR codes on door hangers doesn't mean that our customers won't do that. So the influence of each type of touch. Now, I want to ask a question to the audience. Put in the chat if you're like me and you graduated from Harvard. We all went to Harvard, right? All of us, Harvard grads. Some of us.
I went to Yale. No,
that's what I thought. Ed went to Yale. I think a lot of us came, this corny Facebook school of hard knocks. So we had to learn a lot of this stuff ourselves. So we did a case study at Dope over the past 3 years. The average local home service business is only getting 2 to 4 touches on their ideal customer. They see the truck. They did the estimate. Maybe they saw the Facebook ad or something. But the average Joe, 2 to 4 touches. Now, because all of you are here, I know you're all about more growing your business. They're a little bit above that average Joe because you're investing some of those 1,440 minutes in some of the knowledge and education to get you where our alma mater at Harvard taught us that it takes 7 to 11 consistent touches for a cold consumer to remember a brand. Now, remember, those touches have to work together. They have to be uniform and they have to lead towards the same direction. So I want to throw some more stats out at you guys as we think about these touches and how we build trust with our customers. There's a statistic that says 3 to 7% of your ideal target customer is actively searching for you right now. Paul saying hi from Florida. There are people in Florida literally searching for Paul right now. Sadly, it's only 3 to 7 out of 100 people. 93 to 97% of your audience probably needs what you have or could use your service when they have that problem. They're just not actively searching for you. It's your job to get the required amount of touches to get them to remember you when that need arises. Now, these touches work together and they stack up, but each touch is not equal. And so I want to share an exercise with everyone on the call. And as long, hopefully you're using Workies, but any CRM that you're using, you can perform this exercise. you go back to last quarter. So right now we're sitting in Q3. I want to take every single job that I completed and collected an invoice for in Q3 last year. I want to put that in a spreadsheet. The name, the address, the cost of the job. I'm going to take that spreadsheet. I'm going to highlight the whole thing. I'm going to sort it by zip code. I'm going to take my top 3 performing zip codes. If you're in a huge market like Houston or Dallas or Minneapolis or Miami, you have permission to go fire, but I like to start with 3. Your 3 top zip codes where you are doing work, you have my permission to spend 60% of your marketing budget in those areas. Now, I know we're talking about free leads on this webinar, but what if you have more time than you have jobs? You have permission to take some of that $14.40 and spend the time that it takes to get your brand out in those zip codes, because no matter what you think, the data in your business will tell a story that something you're doing currently right now is working in those zip codes. So that's simple exercise. Download your jobs. You can do this on a quarterly or an annual basis. Drill it down. This will show you where to point your minutes, your time, or your marketing budget in the right direction to generate leads. Top 3 zip codes. My team at Dope believes that each one of your marketing campaigns that you set up, you should be holding yourself accountable to focus on getting more touches with less people. That means instead of doing some shotgun marketing campaign, it doesn't matter if it's digital or traditional or completely guerrilla or organic, you should be holding yourself and your team accountable for more touches with less people. That's how you'll see a result. So where I want you to start thinking is like, when you think about what you're currently doing to generate work, whether it's organic, it's guerrilla, it's paid, whatever. If you had a neighborhood right now and you took your most successful marketing campaign, and clearly it's working because your business is growing, but then you did an analysis of all the things that are working, and instead of going to another area across town, how much more success would you have if you doubled or even tripled down on the time you're spending? And a lot of times when we think about generating leads, there's another study that we did at Dope. The neighbors of your jobs are 10 times more likely to hire you than some other random baller in that private neighborhood that you've done 2 jobs in over the last 5 years on the other side of town. And I'll tell you why. It's not only because when Mandeep and Dave live next door to each other, we're probably homies, our kids probably know each other, we probably make the same amount of money, we probably have the same lifestyle because we live in the same neighborhood. That's all good and great. What really matters is that our house was built of the same year, around the same year, of the same materials, by probably 3 to 5 of the same builders. And so when you think about the statistics around this stuff, the idea is that if you put 9 out of 10 Americans in a room, the biggest financial transaction that 90% of this country will make is the exchange of money for their home. Dave is going to give Ed a check, or the bank or whoever buying that property. That will be the biggest check that I ever exchange in my life. The second, third, and fourth largest investment that an American will make, it's not braces, it's not vacation, it's not paying for school, it is maintenance, upkeep, or improvement to that house. So if I'm already doing what I'm doing, generating leads and generating work in my business for someone in a neighborhood, I need to get out of my own head that I got to expand and grow and go everywhere elsewhere, because those people next door are 10 times more likely to need my service. Remember, we're going back to that 93 to 97% of people that are not quite needing us now. But if we get the nudge and the reminder of the touches that we're spending in the neighborhoods that we're working in, our close rates, our ROI go up, our marketing spend goes down, because we're simply taking some of that 1,440 minutes we have during the day, not to get all over the place, but to consolidate and hold ourselves accountable in those zip codes we're already working in, to get more touches with the right customers that are simply more likely to use our services. And where I want to go with this is, instead of a shotgun approach to marketing. Guys, I've owned a power washing company in the Twin Cities for 14 years. There's 3 million people in a 7-county area. You know what I can tell about all 3 million of them? They have siding. We could wash it. They could all use us. Use a data-driven approach, and we put the right touches in front of the right people. The map in our brain stops looking like it does on the left and start going more to the right. Look, we're in the home service space. We all understand that our perfect customer is a 40 to 60-year-old homeowner that lives in their house for more than a year. We all understand we can help all of them. But when we truly break down our data from last year, find the dope in our business, and let that data tell a story quarterly, you'll see the services that bring in the most work when we're focusing on helping those customers and staying tried and true, becoming 5-mile famous in those neighborhoods. It allows us to use this data. This is actually a profile and a breakdown. And again, we can share these slides with you. They get a little bit deeper. This is the byproduct of taking the work from my power washing company. We went a little bit deeper. Think third grade math, like mean, median, mode. We take our whole customer list. We'll break it down and find the average age, the average income, the credit score within 50 points, and get super, super granular with this. But you don't need to have a straight Bill Nye data-driven approach to do this. You can literally do it with Google Maps. Remember that sheet we were talking about of your jobs from last quarter? Take that thing and upload it to Google Maps, just like if you were getting directions to those destinations. We call this the sweet spot strategy. You'll see your jobs on a map. This is literally a screenshot from Google with the clusters. You're looking for clusters of where you did 3 to 5 jobs in a certain area. And again, if you're in Manhattan versus Mena, Arkansas, it might look a little bit different than this map. But when you can visually see where your jobs are, you do the exercise with the zip codes. We found that 7 out of 10 home service business owners grew up or have lived in the location where their business exists for at least 10 years. So when you look at these sweet spots, you look at these neighborhoods, you understand the profile of who these customers are based off where they live. If anyone's familiar with the Twin Cities, it's a little bit different to live in Edina than it is to live in South Minneapolis. Edina is an affluent suburb. South Minneapolis is a little bit outside of downtown. For anyone who lives in a metropolis, you know what that area looks like. When you can visually see where your jobs are, you don't necessarily need to get into all this Bill Nye data, understanding the crazy stuff, but you understand job time, job price, proximity, how many jobs you can do in a day. How much bigger would your business be if each one of your crews could do one more job a day? $500 average profit for service. When you get your gears turning around that, now you look at the time that you can invest after a job getting those simple touches. We're talking about the 5 rounds with the door hangers, not only putting a yard sign in the yard of the job, but how about that neighborhood that you work in where all the ballers live? When you're getting off the freeway exit, pop a yard sign at the stoplight getting off the freeway exit. Go to the Whole Foods or the high-end grocery store or the Home Depot. Those places inside of the shopping centers that have stop signs inside of the parking lot. You know who doesn't have a job pulling yard signs outside of those parking lots? Anyone. They're going to stay up longer. You got to stay up the whole winter before inside of those parking lots. The amount of leads that you can generate, and I'll say free, because so many of you are already doing this. You're doing door hangers, you're doing flyers, you're doing yard signs, but thinking about getting more touches with less people in the neighborhoods that you're currently working in. Where I'll kind of summarize this is like anything good in life, nothing comes quick. Whether it's meeting your significant other, losing some weight, or growing a plant. If you want long-lasting results, you need consistent effort. A wise man once told me, marketing is not shooting out 100 messages one time. It's shooting out one message 100 times. The consistency over and over and over of making sure that if someone doesn't fall into that 3 to 7%, that 93 to 97% of people that you can serve, that do need your help, that want your services, you took on the responsibility of helping those people when they need you. So the goal and the result is putting in your way, becoming 5 Mile famous in your area, using the exercise with the zip code, understanding the value of touches. So now you know how to get the right amount of touches, you understand the value of a touch, and you can hold yourself accountable to set up consistent strategies in the neighborhoods you're working in, using the things you're already doing well to help more people that actually are more likely to convert on what you're looking to do for their house.
Hey, Dave, can I jump in with a question for you? So I here at SB, we work with a lot of HVAC companies, and so there's obviously there's a sale at some point, and then there's an installation day, right, where there's going to be an equipment, and I do find that almost no one is doing yard signs or door hangers, and back when I was doing sales in the house, door hangers were huge for me as far as referrals, and I find that almost none are doing it. Why do you think it is that so few? Because it's really simple to do. So why is it that so few are doing it?
So I was born in 1985. And sadly, a lot of the people giving advice around traditional marketing are giving strategies out from the year I was born. Like it's criminal.
Yeah.
I believe that with technology advancing, there is so much power now at our fingertips with the ease of digital marketing, the Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musks, every one of the, we all don't have man deep in our back pocket to make this stuff dance. A lot of times when we start a business, we get exposed to how easy it is to do digital marketing now. And I think traditional marketing, because of the weight, meaning the time of that 1440 that it takes to put this stuff together, do the design, set up the tracking, get the printing, go back and forth. I think there's been a world in the past 5 to 10 years where digital marketing has become a bit easier. When we get into a year like this year, we're coming off the pandemic craziness, we got an election, the economy is where it's at. What happens with digital marketing is everyone's trying to spend the same money to get the same impression. So this year over last year, when you look at things like Facebook and Google, everyone's like, oh, the leads are more expensive. Sadly, we're not in control of that. We're in control of who we put the messaging in front of. I believe, and I'll sing this from the top of the mountain, one of the most intimate ways to get someone to remember your brand is to put something in their hand. And I think it's become so easy to get digital. And not that there's look, at Dope Marketing, we spend $5,000 a day in digital advertising. I believe in it more than anyone. But I think that this day and age, to truly be 5 Mile famous, you have to have a cross-channel marketing approach. I like to say an entrepreneur has 5 fingers on their hand for a reason. 4 things that are working, 1 thing that's replaceable that could become one of the 4. I think, Derek, that traditional marketing got old, stale. I joke and I say, the print industry is ran by 70-year-old fat dudes who suck at golf whose kids don't want to work for them. There's not a lot of innovation and automation things. Automation. I just like stuff. So the idea is we are very fortunate at Dope to be in a space where it truly is a blue ocean of opportunity in the implementation of more targeted strategies, more implementation of cross-channel marketing, working with advertisers, amazing, like Mandeep, blending the strategies and putting them together. And I think for so many years it was digital was growing. A lot of the digital guys were like, oh, traditional's dead, direct mail's dead. Da, da, da. Yeah. You gotta be guys. But
I was one of those guys. So I had this little stint over at Home Advisor for 10 years of my life. And I used to tell people all the time, I was like, print is dead. It's dead. It's dead. Stay away from it. Why are you? Because there was a bunch of old school contractors that I was selling to. And I was like, you spend $50,000 on this postcard campaign. Why? And you're complaining to me about $1,000 in leads. Things have changed. they've changed. You do have to have a blended approach. You have got to have a blended approach. And that's why I wanted to bring in Mandeep and Dave, because when I met Dave, like, by the way, guys, we are all running around in the same circles. Like, we were all at an event together back, I think it was like the beginning of May in Dallas, but I see these guys all the time. And I was like, man, dope marketing is dope marketing. And I love that everything Mandeep brings to the table from a digital standpoint, but it's totally back, and it's back with a vengeance. Okay. Because the last lawn care company I hired was from a door hanger,
Door hangers work. Door hangers work.
I get inundated, like you said at the beginning of your presentation, Dave. Like, do you remember the last ad you saw? No, I don't remember the last ad I saw, but I certainly remember the last door hanger, and it was the one that I called. So,
and because you fell into that 3 to 7% that were actively searching, maybe you were comfortable enough to hire that company because you had saw a Facebook ad, you saw them driving around town, you saw the yard sign. Like, it all adds up. It's not one or the other. I get asked all the time. I think Mandeep and I were on a thread the other day where, I'm starting my HVAC company. What's the best form of marketing? It's like, dude, it's not one.
Yeah.
You have to look at, how do you have a smaller geographic area where you can simply make yourself, as again, on a broken record, 5 Mile famous over and over and over.
5 Mile famous.
And then like low-hanging fruit too, of like the company sticker on the piece of equipment, the magnet on the refrigerator. Like, so many companies aren't doing that. It kills me.
And it's all a touch.
Yeah.
It all has value. Do I exactly remember the sticker? Me and my wife just got our garage door done by A1 last week. Outside of the fact, I love my boy Tommy. Why'd we use A1? What sticker was on our garage door thing from when we bought our house?
Yep.
That one touch gets it too.
Yep.
And the best thing is, like, with the, this kind of like dope marketing, what they're doing, everything is tied up with digital stuff. Like, you can track everything, whatever, like, they've mentioned, and the game has changed over the last many, many years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mandeep, it is your time to shine, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak here, and especially to like Ed and the Workies and Dave. You did amazing with your last presentation, and I think it will be great to show some like digital marketing insights and like how to attract more leads. But I actually dope marketing, what are you doing, and digital marketing, it ties together and it blends pretty well if people look at from that perspective. All right. So today I'm going to talk about like how to increase online presence with your websites, SEO, social media. A lot of things are there. When it comes to digital marketing, there are so many things that you can do. But I would like to just like touch base on like, fundamentals and how you can actually attract free leads, like, from different platforms. Again, my name is Mandeep. I'm the owner of Grow Nearby, running my podcast, Born for the Trades. My co-host is Shreya, and we only service home service industry, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage door, you name it, and traveling across the country to meet our clients on our dime, making sure that they have amazing media. Like we are all about relationships, but at the end of the day, right? Relationships, media, that goes a long way. And this is what we have been doing, giving back to the community across the country, visiting all clients and coming back with some amazing media that we can implement on the website, social media, a lot of stuff. So these are some like, pictures from across the country, like some of my team members as well. And yes, like I explained, like, we run our podcast and serving like 100 plus clients across the country and even in Canada too. I want to talk about building a foundation home service business. There are 3 pillars, major pillars. Number 1 is your, what is that? Branding. I think it's cutting off. It's branding. I was like, what happened here? So number 1 is branding. And you got to make sure that, you have amazing brand. It doesn't have to be like, mascot logo. If you think about brand, like it doesn't have to be any mascot logo. I'm talking about brand and how you position yourself. Like what Dave mentioned, You have to go in different, like, you have to follow different routes to do the omnipresence, to do the outreach with like different campaigns. And then marketing plays a big role, digital or print. It has to be tied up together. And the third one is sales coaching. What Derek is doing from SBE, that's amazing. You have to have sales coach with you, and CRM software like Workies. So it all ties up like together. And I'm gonna move to the next one. Marketing will make or break your business. It is very, very crucial, like how you plan your marketing. Most of the company owners we talk to, and they said like they have $1,000 budget, $5,000 budget. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you have to have 8 to 10% of your revenue you should be spending on marketing. And that's the data, that's the math. We have done that. Like, if we are working with one company, they are 5 million, and now they want to hit 7 million by end of this year. If someone is doing marketing with some efforts, it will not drive to that 7 million figure. You have to actually do more activities, do more campaigns. That's how you're gonna hit there. So you have to keep in mind that you should have budget 8 to 10% for your marketing.
Mandeep, do people look at you like you're crazy when you tell them that? Because people always used to look at me like I was crazy when I was a home advisor, and I would tell them when they said their goal was $10 million, I'd be like, okay, well, you need to spend $1 million this year. And
All
they
the
looked
time.
like I was insane.
All the time. But we gotta just like explain them very strategically, like showing the data, right? We are all about data, and data speaks. uh but yes, most of them, they have like specific budget in their mind. And I would say maybe 5 or 10% in the industry, they have actually listened to that part, and they have actually thrived and took their companies to the next level with us, because they actually spent 8 to 10% in marketing. But yes, we had a lot of discussions, but some of them, they think that, okay, want to stick with like specific budget, but it won't turn out to, it won't like hit your goals. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And there are short term and long term like digital marketing strategies, where in short term you can do Google ads to drive more leads, more phone calls, which is Google ads, PPC, local service ads, Facebook ads. And you can do SMS, email blast. There are so many softwares available, website live chat. So that's like short term. Yes, if you are starting your business, you don't have organic presence, you gotta go with that route. That's totally fine. But long-term strategy, you got to look at the foundational stuff, which is your website. You have to have a nice foundational website. We design with WordPress, and we make sure that it's customized. It's not a like cookie cutter template. We make sure that whatever brand you have, it should align and sync. The website should align and sync with your brand. And content is king. And I say content is king and conversion is queen. You got to make sure that you have content for your services. AC repair Tampa. Let's say if you're in Tampa, AC repair Tampa, AC installation Tampa, AC replacement Tampa. You got to have all those combinations for your services and cities. That's major. And I think Dave was also talking about omnipresence, and I'm gonna touch more on that. You gotta do all digital marketing activities, campaigns all together. That's how you're gonna get in front of your audience. And there are different ways, which is like in front of us, short term and long term, that you can do that. Google My Business Profile. It's free. It's free listing. If you don't have Google My Business Profile, go ahead and sign up for that, and just set up with your like logo, profile pictures, and start getting reviews, and you're gonna start getting more phone calls. There are advanced strategies, which is YouTube ads retargeting, social media retargeting, so much stuff there. But I would like to stick to foundational stuff. If you guys don't have your foundation set up, like a website, if you still have the old website, which is like built maybe in 2000, yeah, you got to look at it. People, if they look at on the phone, so data says 60% of the traffic is coming from the mobile devices. You have to have your website compliant with mobile first index. That's the update that came out in 2016, and it's been many years now. Google is looking at your website. It indexes the mobile version of the website first, and then desktop. So you have to have a website which is like very functional, navigating so that people can click on call to actions like phone number or fill out a form, or so that they can navigate if the website is built on mobile first index. 2024 strategies and maybe beyond, what will move the needle? Same, the website, your local service ads, it's free. If you look at Google ads right now, it used to be $30 per click, it's $90 per click. It's expensive. It's always good to go. If you guys have not signed
That's
up
not
for
even a call, right, Mandeep?
it's just a click. It's just a click. It's just a click. And if you guys are doing maybe 1 million or 1.5 million in revenue, I will still recommend you guys to stick to Google local service ads and SEO and other stuff. But if you are crushing it more than 2 million in revenue, highly recommend doing Google ads. Though it's expensive, but is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it doing with your website, SEO, local service ads, and Google ads. And what differentiates
the Google business profile, Mandeep? Because I mean that's a free lead. And some people like don't take the time to fill out that profile. Like, I mean, come on.
It's no brainer. Google My Business, like if you have like your business up and running, I'm sure most of you guys have Google My Business. If you don't have, just like sign it up. And nowadays it's difficult to get the video verification done, but it's part of the game. If you have Office, if you have like all the documentation, you can easily get signed up for Google My Business profile. But that's the basic thing. You should have your Google My Business profile. And once you have that, and once you attract 10, 15 reviews, sign up for local service ads. Google it, Google local service ads. And we will also help you with the step-by-step guide. We will share it with you, but it's a pay per call program, where Google ads is pay per click, right? If somebody's clicking on your ad, it's going to be $60, $90, but that doesn't guarantee a phone call. But local service ads is pay per call program. You can dispute the calls if you have received any crap call out of service area, out of your services. That's one of the best paid programs in the US, and that's my favorite, where call ranges from $20 to $60. It's definitely worth it.
And I gotta mention, sorry, shameless plug for Workies right now, but Google Local Services, we happen to be one of the few FSMs out there where you can do your online booking directly through Google Local Services. And coming soon, very soon, we'll be doing a webinar about it. Your Google business profile too will have Workies online booking. So
I knew that you were in works with that, but that's amazing. So that integration will straight help, in scheduling appointments so that data can be displayed in Workies. So I'm excited for that too.
Yeah.
How do you own the internet in your area, right? Rank on the search engines, HVAC, plumbing related keywords. You got to make sure that you have a foundational website that targets your niche keywords. If you own HVAC, you got to know the best SEO keywords, and we have those lists. We can share it with you. HVAC, plumbing, electrical, what people search online. You should check out how many monthly search volume is there for those keywords, and you should target those keywords in SEO in your Google Ads campaign. That's very simple, no brainer. But we do have clients across the country. In Texas, people search for heating repair. In New York, people search for furnace replacement, furnace repair, right? So those are the things that you have to keep in mind, what people search and what are the monthly search volumes for those keywords, and target those on your website. Understanding the search engine, first thing that you see, if you say AC repair, Tampa, Flat Rock, Michigan, it says here, the first thing that you see is Google local service ads. That's a pay per call program. And it's one of the best programs that, I have mentioned. And I think you guys should sign up. It's free. And if you want step-by-step guide, Beverly is also there on this webinar. She can share it with you guys. Yeah. Google Maps, it's free. Again, you got to just claim that listing for your business and start getting reviews from your customers. And it's always good to ask for the reviews on the spot when you guys, technicians out there, because it's, out of sight, out of mind. You got to make sure that you grab reviews right there for your business. Third is organic listing, which is SEO. And this is what I always joke about. The best place to hide a dead body is page 2. No one goes there. You gotta be ranking higher on page one, like if not like top three, top five, at least on top 10. But the market share is higher on the top positions, and it keeps going down, like 17% on the top three, and after three results then it downs to 15, and then 10, and then 8. You got to make sure that you rank higher to attract more leads. And this is more related to like what Dave mentioned about you having omnipresence, right? You got to make sure that you have the foundation set up, which is your website, SEO, pay-per-click, retargeting going on with Facebook ads, with Google ads. There are paid online directories that you can sign up, repeat and referral, which is like email marketing you can do, pay-per-lead, that is like local service ads, that's a Google platform, social media advertising, and referral program. This is all omnipresent. If we include dope marketing stuff as well, this will become powerhouse, guys. And I think this is all about foundational. I know I'm going fast, I'm talking a lot, but there are so many things in digital marketing, but I'm just covering this foundational stuff that you should have in place, and how you guys can leverage to attract free leads. This is kind of like website that you should be having. This is, I think, brand one of the rebranding done by Kickcharge, and we did the website, and it is navigating with like all the content, with all the call to actions. This is what you need: proper conversion optimization for your website, how it looks on the desktop, how it looks on iPad, how it looks on the phone. This is all matters, because attention, the attention is very short, like where if the website is even loading after 5 seconds, your customers, potential users, gonna actually jump to your competition. You got to make sure you have like fast website as well. Coming back to the website, this is, I'm sure if you guys are listening, I really want you to write this. If you have a website, maybe old or new, you got to make sure that you have pages, service pages for your services. AC repair, Tampa, 500 to 1,000 words content. AC installation, mini splits, heating repair, whatever service you provide, electrician, plumber, water heaters, just like make sure that you have research done. What are the best keywords where people search for? Craft amazing 500 to 1,000 words content you can write. If you have any resource, you can write. You can hire any freelancer, whatever resource you have, and we are always there to help as well. Making sure that you have service pages, city page content. If I'm sitting here in Tampa, I have like surrounding areas. If I'm HVAC company, I can serve Brandon, Lutz, Land O'Lakes. All these are surrounding areas. You got to make sure that you create city pages for your surrounding areas, like within whatever the mile range you go, right? I know Dave mentioned about that. You should be 5 miles. What did you mention? 5 miles, Hero? Right, Dave?
5 mile famous.
5 mile famous, right? So if you are 10 miles, if you're 20 miles, 50 miles, whatever, like you guys go out, make sure you have like all the city pages created on your website and optimized from SEO standpoint. Tampa is very, very competitive. Chicago, New York City, Phoenix, all these cities are competitive if you are there. But think about what are the low-hanging fruit areas. Those are surrounding areas. And our sales head, she's in Dallas. I think she has joined this webinar too. She lives in Dallas, but there are surrounding areas, Frisco, Allen, McKinney. You got to make sure that you have low-hanging fruit city pages created as well. And this is how it should look on your website. Clearly, you're telling clearly Google what this page is all about. AC repair, Flat Rock, Michigan. And if you search this keyword on Google right now, it's going to show where exactly this company is ranking. Superior Comfort is ranking on the maps area, number 1, organically number 1, because the best SEO practices, best foundational practices done for this brand. And this is what exactly you can do for your business as well. It could be HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage door, pest control, you name it. Overall, the strategy is overall the same. You got to make sure that you are targeting right keywords.
I tested you. I took the Pepsi challenge, man. Deep, you're right. There was superior. I did the Google search.
Awesome. Yeah, it's local service ads is like rotating, because Google is monster. They want to make money, and they're making marketing very hard every day. So on local service ads, this company rotates, but on the maps, number 1, organic number 1, you name it, you can do any combination. So thank you for checking on that. 4.8 billion people now own mobile phones. 3 out of 5 customers search for local businesses on their smartphone. Google reports that 40% of mobile consumers turn to a competitor's site after bad mobile experience, right? If your website is loading slow, they're gonna move to another competitor. And if your website is old and they cannot actually tap on the phone number, they cannot actually fill out any form, what's the use of that website, right? And the users will fall off and they will go to your competition. This is live data right here. Whatever we have done for this client, and what exactly they are getting. So this is a lead breakdown. They got 472 leads. Their investment, obviously it includes paid and organic, everything is included. $8,245 they spend in 1 month, and the average cost per lead is $17. And their average price, average ticket size, is $2,000. So imagine having cost per lead at this cost. That is definitely going to help and increase your revenue. But if you are just looking at maybe doing one campaign like Google Ads, and if your ad budget is exhausted, you are off from the Google. So you gotta have all campaigns deployed, SEO, website, Google Ads, local service ads, dope marketing. What they're doing, it's amazing if you have a blend of everything. But you have to take right steps at the right time. We always say, what's working, keep doing more of it. What's not working, let's reallocate to something that is working. And what next? When I say what next, means every day changes are happening. AI is going fast. Google is making a lot of changes. You know how many times Google makes changes in their algorithm? Any guesses, Ed, Derek?
Every day? I don't know.
600 changes they make every year in Google algorithm. It's a lot. It's a lot, for us to keep up. But if you have a team, they are, researching and, staying on top of it. Definitely it helps in tweaking the strategy. Even if you just launch website and then you forget and don't do anything, it's not going to help. You got to keep inventing the wheel, and you have to keep implementing new strategies. One thing that I would say is one of the best things that you guys can do, your smartphone, start making short form content. It's picking up, and people always say that installing HVAC is not that fancy or sexy. This is what I say, if you guys show your work, whatever you're doing, installation, plumbing installation work, water heater installation, HVAC, just document 1 minute videos, less than 1 minute, less than 60 seconds videos about your work. Put it out on social media, micro video platforms like TikTok. Not a big fan of TikTok. It might go away because of some regulations. But Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. You can actually put out content on YouTube Shorts. YouTube is the second world's largest search engine after Google, right? So you got to make sure that you create short form content. Maybe just installing some work, maybe B-roll, whatever you're doing, right? You can take video testimonials as well. When your technicians are out there, once the job is done, you can ask the customer that we will give you $50 off on your bill, and they would love to give you a video review. So this is definitely working. We are doing remote reels for our clients as well, but we encourage everyone that you have your smartphone, and make sure that you create content and distribute on multiple channels. Repurpose on different platforms. It's growing. If Facebook Reels, Instagram, and especially YouTube Shorts, it's growing massively, and that's going to actually help you in your brand. If you have one video testimonial from your customer talking about how good you are, and you can do $1 a day strategy, you can run $1 a day strategy on Facebook. Grab that video, put it on Facebook, and run $1 a day ad on that. You will be the king or queen of your area. What Dave says is 5 miles. What was that again?
Famous.
It's obviously not that catchy for you, man.
Apparently not.
No, I'm just I just wanted to bring him. So 5 miles famous. But you can be king or queen of your area if you just like have this video testimony or a video, just run $1 a day ad, and let's say you are posting 5 videos and you're spending $5 a day, and see what gives you the most traction. Keep running that ad and you can turn off the other ads. And that's how you're gonna get more traction, brand awareness in your area. So let's apply this to your business. We have this checklist, amazing checklist where you can do a lot of things on your own. Is your website optimized for conversion? These are the steps out there. Is your website optimized for SEO? Is your website like ranking on Google Maps? All these checklists are there, and we would love to share it with you all. And I think you can scan the QR code and you can get in touch with Bev, our sales head, and we would love to give you our checklist, and we would love to create roadmap together as well. But I'm open to questions. Yeah.
I want to kind of tie some of these things together too, from like the business coach, sales coach perspective as well. Of right, when we're looking at marketing, I kind of like to think of it as a strategy standpoint. If we got external marketing and we have internal marketing, we have people who don't know we exist yet, and we have the people who do know we exist, our previous customers. And when we're specifically thinking about new leads or free leads, I think a lot of times that existing customer database gets overlooked, and there's kind of always this push of we need to bring in new stuff. Just this morning, I was doing a coaching call with somebody, and they were feeling desperate, like our phone is not ringing, we're hurting. I was like, well, how many customers are in your database that you've done work with before? And they said something like 700 or 800. I was like, when's the last time you've done anything with that database? Like, never. they've never done anything there. Of those are free leads. They already went through maybe a marketing process like this, going through the signs and the door hangers or the ads. They already responded to something. They interacted. You can go back and market to them again. These are where things like newsletters, emails, you get like getting into your world, Dave, like postcards and thank you notes and birthday cards. And, it kind of depends on the info that we're gathering about our customers, and even just a phone call of, hey, Mrs. Smith, it looks like it's been 8 months since the last time we were out there, just giving you a call because your system's due for its next maintenance. Your water heater's due for the next flush. Good news, we have a special, and that's connected to maybe our monthly newsletter we sent out that had that special in there, and that's connected to maybe something that we put on the website of when we're really in that tight pinch, the internal. And especially for businesses that have seasonal fluctuations, when the demand fluctuates away, I think that's when you got to pivot to internal marketing. It's kind of that idea of fish when the fish are biting. If we're outside of the demand or peak season, people aren't necessarily thinking about that service. But our customers who went through that pain already before are, because they're experienced with what happens when you neglect their system. So you can hit them in the off season and remind them, hey, there is a demand season coming up. Now's the time to do something. So keeping all those things in play. I have a question too for Mandeep and Dave. So sure. For a lot of the audience, the Workies works with, its home services, which are a lot of times kind of a grudge purchase, where it's not like selling cars. It's not like selling other things where the homeowner is maybe dreaming of this purchase. And, as soon as I get that promotion, I'm going to make this purchase. These are things that are grudge purchases. It's because they kind of get stuck with this, or something bad happens. So how does that kind of influence marketing a little bit when it's not really something that someone wants to spend money on, just on its surface, but we would say they need to spend money on it, but want is a very powerful motivating force. Yeah. So how does that kind of change the strategy for like an HVAC company, a plumbing company, who people don't really want their stuff? They kind of get forced into it.
I will let Dave go first. Yeah.
So I think when you look about like the wants and the needs of a homeowner, I think about, like, I'll use my power washing company as an example. We offer a lot of services. We do window cleaning, gutter cleaning, power washing, and we had a Christmas light installation 6 years ago. I throw Christmas light installation in this bucket. It's one of our higher end services. It's a $1,500 minimum. And not everyone wants to spend $1,500 to put up their Christmas lights. I think when you really look at like meeting your customers where they're at in more of a marketing message, I think it goes to the theme of the webinar. It's not necessarily about paid leads, sending mail, doing AdWords, like any of that. It's like, how are you communicating with your customers about meeting them where they're at? Like, we have over 1,000 customers for Lion's Share Maintenance that get their gutters cleaned every year. Is it their favorite thing in the world to spend $250 having someone else clean the slop out of their gutters? Maybe not. But the way you present that or talk to it, stay off the roof this year. Spend your time hanging out with your kids, like doing something different or making the messaging. Mandeep brought up something great about like the short form content. We were doing short form content this morning at Dope when I was in office. And John, our video guy, asked me like, Dave, what's the number one thing that you think that you would do if you started a business tomorrow in a new market? And my answer just came to me so simply. I would get on video and I would get excited about telling people about what my business did all day. Because if someone yes, as a technician, as an owner is fixing a unit or cleaning a gutter or mowing the lawn interesting to us? No. But that 3 to 7% versus the 93 to 97% of people are like, oh shit, dude, I don't want to do that. That guy looks really good at it. I should hire that. It checks the box, Derek, of that like, I'm not saving up to be able to buy this shiny new car, but I don't have to spend my time doing this thing. And it looks like these guys are really good at it, so I'm going to hire them. So I think your messaging, your delivery, your content, like how you approach things to your customers, that can be that differentiator around like, oh shit, did I really got to pay for this? Versus like, oh, I don't have to do this. Great. I get to hire Ed to do it or whatever.
Yeah. I like that. And, something with the companies that I work with, something I hear a lot too is, I might be asking, what's going on here? And they're like, well, we're getting a lot of bad leads right now. And this is where I always kind of joke a little bit about, that having come from a background of doing this type of stuff, but it's that whole idea. Is there a strategy from the click to the close? Like when the phone rings, do we have a good way that we answer it? Are we good at overcoming objections on the phone? Do we have a good process that we go out there? How often do you guys kind of find that the business owner, instead of fixing the internal processes that lead to a sale, wants to blame, well, these are just bad leads?
Yeah. And I would say it's all about mindset. And I think a lot of HVAC companies or any home service company talk about, we have met with, hundreds, thousands of companies. They had bad experiences with they burned by so many marketing companies. Right. And I think most of them, they don't have trust because it's a lot in digital marketing, whom to trust. But you gotta look at it what that marketing company has done, for other companies. And you got to have a good mindset. Like I talked about, right? 5 to 10% people, like what Dave is talking about, 3 to 7, 5 to 10% people are only spending that 8 to 10% in overall their marketing budget, but others are not, and they are not hitting their goal. And we have been transparent. Like if you are not going to invest that, right, how can you hit that goal, right? So it's all about mindset. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Speaking of mindset too, businesses have phases that kind of match the owner's mindset, right? They could be in survival mode. They could be in growth mode.
Yeah.
They could be in we're good here in maintenance mode. And I know that changes the marketing strategy, but there's a little mindset about that too, of how aggressive we want to be, how much of a percent of the budget. That's a very common question as a coach, is how much, quantify for us how much we should spend on marketing. And I know both of you kind of touched on it, but what's kind of your thoughts on different strategies based on the phase of the company of how much should they be investing?
So
it's just kind of general rules.
Yeah, Derek, to me, it's a capacity thing. And so people don't realize, and guys, put on your seatbelts for this one. You know that it's just as bad of a problem to not have enough leads as it is to have too many leads. So we're on the same page. Your shit can break if you don't understand your capacity and you have too much coming on. It's actually a worse problem than not having enough leads. That's actually more solvable than fixing the problems of scaling too fast, overselling, not knowing what you're doing, having to hire around all these issues. And I don't think a lot of times we take that into consideration. So like when you look at, one exercise I like to run with business owners is like, all right, Derek, how many crews do you have in the field right now? 3? Great. Let's put our thinking hats on and imagine a world where like, what is the maximum amount of work if those crews, how long do you want to be booked out? Well, probably not more than 2 weeks, unless you're like a straight owner operator in the truck. I understand that you can be booked out for months. But if you're like a growing business falling into where I like to say marketing budget, 4 to 12% of your annual revenue, depending if you're conservative, middle, or aggressive. Little bit of a bigger range. But dude, it's hard to fathom if you're only doing $300K a year to be like, you want me to spend $30,000, dude? I'm trying to pay my bills. I don't have 30 grand to spend on marketing. When you simply understand or run an exercise, I got 3 crews. Each crew can do 3 jobs a day or whatever the number is. What's my capacity? Now you understand how many leads you can actually generate. Now you can understand what you're willing to pay for a lead. Now you can back out into what should my marketing budget actually be, because I can do this much. I'll pay $100 for a lead. I can service 36 leads a week and my close rate is 30%. So I need 12 new jobs a week. It's the boring part of business. This isn't all like chasing squirrels and buying Lambos and doing all this fun stuff. It's like the boring things are what make us scale. So when we can get into our numbers and we understand at the best point in the spring or the fall when we're at capacity, what could we do? Now you use those numbers Mandeep was giving you to say like, this is how many leads I need. This is what I'll pay for them. This is my close rate. This is my capacity. You get back to that 3rd grade math of mean, median, mode, which all these smart people that run businesses tell us knuckleheads is like the easy part.
Yeah, because business can usually be broken down into math, and there usually is an equation for that business and that business model. Leads in, how many make it past the phone call and the appointment booking, how many make it past the show up rate and the completion rate, how many make it past the close rate.
Probably not many of us made it past 10th grade math.
There is math that goes into it, but I think a lot of business owners don't know the equation for their business and their industry, and it feels very chaotic.
Absolutely.
Right. And then it kind of brings into, let's just throw and hope enough comes out.
Well, now this is where those conversations come up. Edward, back to previously in your career, whether it's like Home Advisor, Angie, lead buying services, telemarketing, all that stuff where it all gets such a bad rap. But people don't understand when you engage with any marketing company, me, Mandeep, one of those other ones we just mentioned, doesn't matter. Marketing is a tug of war, meaning if I'm on this side and the business owner's on that side, if either of us drop the rope, we both fall. And a lot of times when you hear the horror stories around, this lead company screwed me, it's like there's usually just a little bit more to the story. Not saying that there aren't bad characters or good characters or whatever out there, but when you buy 100 leads and you don't have to do anything for them, what do you really expect?
Yeah.
Like it was that easy.
Mm-hmm.
Mandeep, you were getting so hot over there, you just disappeared.
Yeah, it said like, it's hot. Like, I don't know what's going on. And my fancy camera went off.
The temperature was too hot. And I was like, that's right, Mandeep is.
We are bringing the heat. Yeah.
You're getting worked up over there.
I had to tell you guys though, because I get so passionate about this. I could talk about advertising and marketing in my sleep, but you're talking about the bad leads, right? I used to hear that all the time. Your leads,
the bad leads
suck. Your leads are garbage. And I'd be like, no, you are, it's not like I was taking it personally or anything like that. I didn't care. But like, once I would start explaining to people like what they should really be doing with the leads and the drip campaigns and like, really nurturing these things, I was like, these are like gold. Don't let it go just because somebody said no today. I don't even care if they were signing up for like, some free widget online and they had to do a survey, right? Like, might you be interested in replacing your roof in the next 6 months? Oh yeah, sure, I guess so, right? It's still a buying sign.
Still buying. Yeah. I would like, one thing to share that, in the past, like I'm just gonna pick like customer A, customer B. Customer A, like they wanted a lot of leads. We ran like Facebook ads, we did like bunch of campaigns for them. Leads were flooded. And then we get to know the same, like that the fancy answer, leads suck. Like I literally told them your follow-up sucks. You are not following up on these leads. You are not picking up the phone. So many abandoned calls. A lot of leads are just like stuck there. You gotta do amazing follow up to have like more touch bases, 6, 8, 10, like Dave mentioned, like Harvard study, 7 to 11 touches you have to make. Other customer B, we gave them like same amount of leads, they crushed it. Their closing rate was amazing and they were hungry to get more leads, and then they scaled to the next level. They hired more people. And I think this is something it's happening at, I think, systems, processes, follow-ups. It requires everything in your business to take it to the next level. Yeah.
Just as much as they're
Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
I was just as much as we've talked about like a marketing budget, an ad budget, and kind of viewing it like there should be a corresponding coaching and training budget, which is not just a financial commitment, but a time commitment of this. This is the time that we're spending on coaching and training so that we don't fall into that trap of just saying the leads are bad, right? It's just we didn't have the training, we didn't have the process to fully take advantage of the leads and the market.
Yeah, in that like I was showing that like pyramid, right? Branding, marketing, and coaching. Sales coaching plays a big role in your business. You gotta have like sales training, sales coaching, like what Derek has been doing. So yeah.
Well, awesome, guys. I'm really impressed with our attendees today because they're hanging in there like champs.
We'll check it out.
We've gone over an hour, so thank you so much for everybody sticking with us. I mean, I feel like we could sit here and chat all day long, but I know you guys are busy running businesses and probably have a million voicemails and emails to return. But I definitely wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. Derek shared with us that he's going to be sending out a pretty cool like marketing ebook that they're just going to finalize right now. We promised you we'd get that in your hands, and I'm a man of my word. We're all men of our words, so we're gonna get that out to you. We'll get a copy of today's presentations. We'll be sending out a copy of the recording too. You can always go to WorkEase and be able to watch any of our webinars. We keep those live and up to date for you. But thank you again so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And you guys have an amazing rest of your afternoon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.